So as you all know, this demo is on network automation. So we will see few examples today for the automation, network automation especially. Okay, and we will also try to understand what is this automation batch about. So let me quickly go through the topic or the content for this batch. So this is going to be like 3 month or 2 to 3 month of course happening on the weekends, covering modules like Python theory, Python libraries, and Ansible, AWX, REST API, and CCNA automation, along with hands-on project. Okay, so we'll start with very basic topic initially with the Python theory and the exercises, and then we'll proceed uh, on use cases and writing of the script and other things. Okay, so someone who does not know how the things work, uh, we can just go through on a high level. So this is an application which is used for writing few, write the scripts and other things. Okay, so to get started with any script writing, you have to have some application, and then you can write your script on these applications. Okay, um, so for example, if you want to store certain things, so this is called variable and this is called string. Similar way, you want to store the port number, so this is called numbers and this is called variable, so you're storing the data inside it. So if you want to add certain things, addition, so you can add with operators. So this is called addition operator. So you're adding two data value and then taking storing it in the variable. So you want to print the output of some variable or something, then you can go with print command. You want to collect some inputs from the users, enter the username, right? So now this is your string for that, called input method, and this message will be read out. So the user who is executive will type his entry there. Similar way, you want password to be entered, enter the password. So this will be prompted. Okay, so how do you execute this? You just right click. When you right click and you run it, it will show in the output section. So you can see here it says enter the username. So let's say you type admin. It asks for password. Let's say you store them, right? So this is how you give the syntax. Okay, and all together when you put them in a right way, you can automate the devices. So when we say automate the device, it basically means that, I hope you can see the fonts here. So it means that you are uh, taking multiple SSH of network device, right? It can also mean that you're fetching the output of multiple CLI commands like show IP, int brief, or show clock, show run. You can also configure multiple devices, network devices. So let's say you want to configure something like line VTY 0 to 4 and transport input SSH execute timeout, let's say 0 to 10. So these are few commands. Let's say you want to push it to multiple devices. So this is also called automation. Might be you want to copy file transfer some iOS files. So you want to do it on a bulk devices, or let's say you want to upgrade the device. So you can write the script and run the upgradation process on multiple devices. Similar way, if you talk about the SDN technology, which has the GUI concepts, you can make use of HTTP protocol to make API calls, which also is used for automation these days. So you want to download the inventory file, you want to configure something, you want to fetch the reports. So we can do REST API automation. So altogether, there are different types of automation: SSH automation, HTTP automation. So these are the protocol, the type of protocol that is used for automation. So you need to have a proper communication with the device first, either via SSH or HTTP, which are majorly used for communicating. Once you have the communication with the device, then you can write the script and do all the use case that I have discussed. Like you can fetch the output, you can configure, you can file transfer, you can upgrade, you can delete some config if you are not interested, right? So how the communication happen? So let's say this is your PC, okay, and this is the let's say switch or firewalls or some network devices. So you agree that either you can do SSH on them, or you can take HTTPS or HTTP and access via HTTP, correct? So you should only have these protocol to able to communicate. So rest all the things you will deploy it here. In the sense you will install Python programming, you will install PyCharm or VS Code, okay? You will install all the libraries, Python libraries. So all this part of installation on your machine, client machine. And from this client machine over on these protocol, either SSH or HTTP, we can make all the needful change, or we can fetch the report, or we can configure it. So this is communication, okay? In order to have in order to push the configuration to the devices. So I'm going very high level. So these are the syntaxing. You need the communication. We'll see some example. So I have a small lab here, which I normally take it in the class. So you can see these are some routers, iOS XE routers. These are Paloalto firewall. Here we have a router. We got some switches, 40 gate. So you can add n number of devices here. If in case you need something else, you can add it here. These are few things which on a multiple occurrence the participant normally use on Cisco or Palo. So that's why I've kept few items here, right? So where is our application sitting? Our application will be over on the same network adapter. So this is over on the network adapter. So let's say this is a DHCP provisioning server. So all of them are having /24 network, 172.16.24.x/24. So I have the reachability to all the devices. So let's say I have my PyCharm. I can ping them to see if I have the reachability or not. So if I open up one device here, if I see what is the IP address, 24.101, 172.16.24.101. See, so there is a reachability. Okay, this is needed when you're pushing out some some script. You should have the successful ping outcomes to that device. So that means it's able to talk to this device over ping. Now we will do SSH to this device. So how to do the SSH? So we need some library which is capable of doing SSH. So let's say for this example, I'll take something called NetMiko. From NetMiko, import connect handler. I'll give all the device information in a dictionary format. So I'll say that it's a device type Cisco iOS. I'll define its IP address. Okay, so the IP address was 172.16.24.101. Then I'll define its username. Username was admin. Then I'll define the password. Password is Cisco. Then I'll say that this device information should be able to supply it to that library with the help of connect handler functionality. Okay, I'm expecting now my SSH is established if the credentials are good, device IP is reachable, and if everything is good, then I expect my connection is established. So once the connection is established, I can push any command to see whether I'm successfully connected or not. Send command, and we can keep it simple like show IP int brief, and then we need to read it out on the application, right, to see whether I really have the output or not. So now if you run this script, see, so this information is from the device. So you don't have to go to the device, or you don't need to do a putty or a SSH from a traditional manner. You will just write the script. Okay, you will write the script, and then you have the answer with you. So you can also put some more comments that you are connected to this, etc. So let's say you can put a comment like connected to, and whatever, because there can be chances that you have multiple devices, right? Because I will also add might be something else, like might be one more device I'll add this router. So let's see what is the IP of this. Show IP in brief. So it's 24.11. So the same script, I'll reuse it multiple times, right? So I'll say that multiple IP, and inside the list format, I'll keep my device IP. So I have dot 101 and dot 11. Then I'll put a for loop for single device in multiple IP. Put all this information inside the for loop section. This will be the updated value here. Okay. And then I'm going to say connected to so and so. Push the configuration. Push in the sense fetch. Okay. So we can say call it as fetch instead of push. Fetch. And we can also write a print, uh, let's say disconnected. Disconnected from this device. So now you see how it performs. Same credential, two different devices. So it says that connected to so and so, you have the output. It got disconnected. You connected to the next device. You fetched it and again disconnected, right? So one single script with around 14 lines, and you can have n number of devices added up to 5,000 devices you can add up. It will go in a sequence, and the job is done in might be few minutes, right? Otherwise, what is the procedure if you have to fetch even single command? You open the putty, you put the IP address, username, password, log into that, then you put a command, then you disconnect, then you go back to another SSH, then again. So the process goes manual. But in the scripting side, once the script is ready, you just have to keep updating with the IP addressing, and the script will the rest of the things will remain as it is, because you're going to put the same command. And if in case you have more command, then you can also increase that here. You can keep up to 20, 30, 40, 50. There's no limit. You can keep that many number of CLI commands, and you will be keep getting. Same way, if you want to do some backup, let's say these are now on the output terminal. If you close it, the outputs are gone. What if you wanted to take the output of this in some backup folder, right? Then you can define a backup process. Backup, that's a comment. Then we can say with open, give the system path, and then say that you're taking a backup single device in the text format basically, and you want this files to be auto created, not that someone create this folders in advance. This is going to be something like the file is going to get created as, and then the device is connected, and we have something. Okay. So we'll put a write operation, and let's say I want to keep the fetch inside this. So simple, two lines. Then we'll see the file start coming over here. So if you run the script, also be on that folder. See, now you have two files. You open up this, you have the information. You open the second file, you have the information. Right? The backup start coming itself. We don't have to create any files for that. See, if I run this, the files will auto create. See, two devices, two backups. So that's how the automation run. Uh, During the class, more inputs will be shown. So as of now, I just showed you something from very like something from module 9 or module 10. Okay, so I went to module 9 and module 10 to show you the capabilities of automation. You can see here we have many other use cases that we can try from this. Reading from Excel file, regex operation. Okay, you can save the config on Excel sheets like CSV and many other things. So any of you have done this kind of script writing? How many of you have done a script writing in your production? Do you guys have a experience with script writing or any automation that you might have done? Okay, fine. So this is one of the type of automation. Similar way, we can see something for if a GUI type of automation. Okay, because just now we did the SSH automation. So similar way, we can see for firewalls, or if any SD-WAN or ACI, which works on a HTTPS concept. How does that work? Let me open this Palo Alto management IP. So I have a dashboard here. The the firewalls automation, the firewall type of automation is also part of the course. So I showed you initially router switches. Now we'll see some examples for firewalls.
Hi, Sagar.
Yeah,
uh, what what are the things we can do it with the firewall routers as well as ACI is covered here?
ACI.
Yeah, yeah. Cisco ACI, yeah. Automation of Cisco ACI.
Okay, so these are two things. Firewalls are different, ACIs are different. So with firewalls, you can do almost all the things that it has the feature like policy, object, network creations, etc. Same with ACI, you can create all tenant, BD, the other things that's part of ACI fabric.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'll show once few examples that is possible in the HTTPS. So first you see the dashboard. This is a Palo Alto dashboard. Things like the administration, like management, operations, services. Similar way, when you go to the network tab, you when you click on interface, you can create sub interface, right? Sub interface, VLANs, Ethernet, the physical interface. So let's say if you open up one of the interface, you get some more option that this interface can be part of interface type tab or HA or etc. Similar way, when you go to zone concept, you have an option to create like you can create different zones. You can type, you can bring those interface inside that. So these are the job that we can do from the dashboard. So when I click on object, you can create object address group, etc. When you go to policy, you can create the different types of policy like security policy, NAT policy, right? Now, these things you need to automate because let's say you have on a daily basis 10 policies to be added, 10 policies to be removed. So if you just go and click on add button, you can see there are these many tabs that you do in the graphical. You will type the ACL name, right? Then you will click on the source, you will put the zone, you will type the IP address. Once again, you click here, you will type the IP address, blah, blah, blah. Then you go to destination, you will put the destination zone here, you will put the, so it's all manual. Even it is dashboard, you're doing it manually by one clicking. Then you go to application, you can select from the list or you are creating, then you have to create and then call it here. Same way, when you go to service, you will either have the predefined one or you can create it. Then finally, you go to action, you select what action settings and then you save it. So one policy might take 10 minutes. So you just imagine 10 policy will take into 10 minutes, which is more than hours, right? So this is where automation is needed so that you can easily do your job from some application over on HTTP protocol. It will connect to this dashboard and it will push that to the appliance, the actual devices. Okay. So for this kind of automation, we make use of something called Postman application. So let's say if I go to the REST API collections of Palo Alto, first I will communicate as we did in SSH2. So we need to see if I am able to have a successful communication with Palo Alto or not. So this is my API call. My credentials are saved. So you can see that the IP address is 24.14. These are the password. So let's generate a session for first. See, this is the portion where you see the output prompted with HTTP status code 200 OK. That means I am able to talk to the device and this is my session ID generated. If there was anything, any issues with my credential, let's say I put a wrong credential and then I click on send. See, now I get a invalid credential. So I'll go back and fix that issue and once again click. See, I got a session ID. So I'll copy the session ID and keep it in one of the variable. And later, whatever I do, I can easily either call the session ID or I can also make use of username and password to connect with the box. So let's say you can see here, this was first section, which was related to credentials or logging to the box. I'm good with that, so I have minimized it. Now let's say you wanted to create any object group. Okay, so you go to this call. You can just have something of your own. Let's say today is 28th March. So let's say 28th March object. I'm going to create some object. I'll update the IP, let's say 111 CR number, and I just click on send button. See, this is a good signal. That means successfully completed. So this is my URL. This is called payload. Okay, what is this? This is payload. Payload is nothing but your config block. You can call it as body or payload. This is the REST API call. This is the output message. These are called API collections, like your bookmarks. And these are the variables. You can just change the Paloalto IP, username, credentials. It's all graphical. And the payload is written in the JSON format, a subset of JavaScript. Now we have to validate whether this has really configured or not. You go to the management page and let's say click on object, go to address and see if it is present or not. See here. See. So we wanted to configure this from automation. We did that. If the same thing you have to configure manually from the dashboard, then you have to write it here, 28th March object. Then you have to put some IP. Now, while I type the IP, I might make a human error, right? I might make some typo error. Instead of 111, what if I might have typed 121? Then I click on OK, right? See, so this is what I created manually from the management dashboard, and this I created from the automation portal. You can see here I got that human error, and this is what the actual IP was supposed to be. So automation is to speed up the thing and avoid any human error. Now you go back. You had just a minute. Actually, my screen is frozen. See, now go back. Let's say you wanted to have some different object group. Let's say some object group for CCTV blacklist. You have been asked to put this IPs inside that, right? Click on send button. Wait, that object has to be also updated here in the header. Then click on send button, 200 OK. Come here and validate. This is where it's created, right? So you can create n number of objects that is part of the change. So you just put them, click on the send button, it will come and appear here. Let's say similar way, you wanted to have something to be created like some policies or something. Open up the REST API part. Your API call is here. Let's say you want to put some CCTV block ACL. This is the name of the ACL. Update it here. Keep all the fields ready. Like let's say from which source IP to which destination you want to make it. Let's say you want to keep it 10.10.10. Do you have any source user? You can define that. Do you have any member? You can define that. You have any application? Okay. So this application is once again, see if you go to the policy, click on add application. There are some predefined application, a huge list of predefined. But if you wanted to have your own, then definitely you go to that application object, and then you can create your own, right? So that's why I given one example of a customized application. See, NJ123. That's why I'm taking it. You can create your own applications too in Palo Alto. You click add button. You can type network 1234, put some category. This is your application. So let's say you wanted to use that in this. So you update it, network 1234. Similar way, you have something else, service. This is a predefined value. Okay. And you want to put a permit statement, drop statement, or whatever you can define, and click on send button. Okay. 200 status. Okay. We can validate. Going to the policies. See, we have the CCTV rule now. From this address, from this zone, this is the user, this is the device, this is the zone, this is the destination IP, destination device. See, this is the application that we had created, network 1234, service and action drop. So with the help of few REST API calls and updating the payload, you can create all these things from the REST API way itself. Okay, this was one example from a firewall vertical. Similar way, if you wanted to have it for ACI or SD-WAN, so you have to go to the respective collection. You can start with login first. Then you want to have a tenants, you want to create something, right? So you can also check the different fabric topologies. You have fabric nodes, tenant management, you want to create or delete or fetch. So you can have from the ACI. Similar way, you want SD-WAN, you can take it from the SD-WAN collection. So the approach will remain same. Once you understand one of them, then it is reusable for all the different technology. So here you have the application, authentication first. First you see whether you're successfully logged in or not. Then you can take the network device, you can have the tags, you have the path trace, a repeat operation. So if you know the technology, you can easily use this solution. Okay, fine. So in brief, what we saw today was the SSH type of automation that I considered showing you on a iOS XE router and iOS router. We fetched CLI output. We took the backup in text format. Second example, we did using API calls. We took the example of Palo firewall. We did configure some object first, then the policy, right? So now with this in logic or this learning, we can enhance it to the next level. So we can go with more use cases like configuration, iOS upgradation. If you have DNAC or Catalyst Center, or you have some other technology, you can use the API call And something when we take it in a class, then also remember we have Ansible to be covered, we have Flask to be covered. Flask is for the GUI setup to make your dashboards. Then we have PyATS, then the robot framework, right? So these are the things that we will be doing it in the class. Plus, I'll give you the projects. So project basically means hands-on writing. So if I give you a task to use a regex or create a regex or make a audit report, make an audit report to fetch serial ID, serial ID and uptime and the current iOS version, then give me a report for that. Correct? So this kind of project, the whole motivation, the whole intention is that you get, you get hands-on experience. When the batch is almost to complete, you have a hands-on experience with the script writing. If not, then you will only be uh, you will only be able to like view others writing, but not yourself writing any code. So if you do your hands-on practice, you can also write your own code. This lab will be shared with each one of you, the enrolled participant. And as I told, we can add many more nodes as well. If you want FI if you need some more Palo Alto, some more iOS XE, some more routers, we can add them. Okay. So you can get the home lab setup, which means on your laptop directly. You can also have the remote access to the network journey server so that you can directly lab over there. Okay. So these are the labs, ready-made labs that we will give. You can also create your own small topology or a different network design from your enterprise and make use of it. And all rest of the things like application installation and application setup, that we will help you. The backend team helps the participant over on Ultra Bigger or any other free desk or anything. We help you to install the things. So the classes happens always on a Zoom meeting. It's in the evening slot of Indian hours, 6 to 8 p.m. on Saturdays. And from the endpoint technology, routers, switches, iOS XE, XR, iOS, Nexus, then firewalls like FortiGate, firewall, Palo Alto, FI load balancer, ACI, SD-WAN, Catalyst Center. So these are the technology we discuss it. Okay. And all the use cases that you do it in traditional way, we do it in the class and we see how the things work. And then I give that working code to you in the format of workbook. So I'll prepare that workbook. I'll attach it with the recording of that class. You will have a lifetime access to the recording. Whatever we do in the live class is getting recorded, and you get the workbook for that, so that you can, after the class, you can practice it on your own. So this is the format of the live classes. So someone who didn't join or could not join can go through the recording and ask your question in the next class, or we have a learner group where you can put the error screenshot so that we can help you uh, with your issues. If you have any issues, we can help you there. So all right, so this was a small demo. Next presentation will happen from the backend team, who will share the pricing and the enrollment process. So if you guys have any technical queries, or if you wanted to know something from the technical side, we can have the quick Q&A now, and then I'll hand over to the backend team. So any question from the technical side?
Yeah. Do we need any previous experience on automation something? Because I
No,
have
no,
zero experience at all.
no, you don't need it because our course is laid up in such a way that we start from the very beginner level. So we'll first start with the theoretical part first. So once the theoretical part is well understood, then we start writing one by one the script. So first we'll start with the basic script only, like single device, single command. Then we will increase to multiple device. Then we'll increase to multiple command. Then we'll see the config push. Then we'll see the external file. So the level will keep increasing. So, but it starts from a ground level first, and then it will go on to many more and protection scenarios and etc. So if you're not, I mean, if you don't miss any class and be attentive, then it will go like a journey for next 2-3 months.
Okay.
Okay, so do not worry. I'll start with the basics only, and then we have the things.
Hey Sagar, how about networking experience?
You don't need to have much network experience here. If you know basic command which I give in the class, like show IP in brief, show clock, you can use the same commands to write your script. So this course is not something to deal with CCNP or CCI or any troubleshooting. This is only about writing the script. So we need only few show commands, few config lines, and we do that from the scripting side.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so nothing much networking needed.
So based on the examples which you have shown today,
Mhm.
like it is most of the thing which we used to do in daily basis, like taking a backup or
Mhm.
uploading an image or upgrading the device or doing the audit.
Correct.
So which looks pretty simple actually. So this course is it like that? Like it's pretty simple.
That depends on you if you know the, like, if you have gone through the syllabus or not. So have you worked on regex? If not, then regex is part of this. Have you worked on reading something from Excel file? If not, then that is part of this. So it is not just about running few commands or execution. How you write it in the script, that matters. So do you know how to read from Excel or write back to Excel? You might
Mhm.
be doing a show IP into brief itself, but
Mhm.
how do you take it from an Excel file?
Yeah. Okay.
Or let's say I want to make an audit report to generate some report. The commands might be the same thing, like show IP into brief or show version, show run. But the complications are how you run the regex or how you take the things all in a formatting and put it in the Excel,
Mhm.
right? So in and around matters. Commands, definitely we have to use those networking commands that we've been doing from ages in the networking side, right? See here one report I'll show you. See, I created, let's say, this file. This file is created from Python automation. It has uptime report. It has a system path. It has current iOS version. It has hosting. If you ask me what commands I ran, I will say that I ran show run and show IP in brief. Now you might think that are we only going to cover this two commands? See, it is not about the command. It is about what you got out of it. Okay, so this is generated from Python, which is an open source free of cost. The same report in companies, they are spending money for HPNA or solar winds or CA spectrum. Now Python can do it for free, so you are giving your company a solution where the things can be cut down, right? So don't think from what commands you're running. It's your day to day things you have been doing from ages. It's about what are you getting out of that, okay, or what solution you're giving to your management, how you're able to cut down the uh, costing. That all matters. The same audit report you can generate from paid tools like HPNA. You know how much costing it is going to cost your management side. Okay, so any other question?
Yeah, when we work with different vendors, right? Like Checkpoint, sorry, like FortiGate, Palo Alto, and then Cisco, right?
Mhm.
How do we? I mean, w- what exactly? I mean, my actual question is, how we gonna differentiate between the APIs? I mean, different vendors use the similar kind of APIs. I mean, I never went through it, so
Yes,
I'm just
every vendor will have their own APIs. These APIs are embedded in the operating system. So Cisco iOS XE will have certain APIs developed by XE developers. I mean the Cisco iOS XE developer team. Similar way, Checkpoint is having its own software engineers who have built the APIs for Checkpoint, and it's inside that operating system. So nowadays, all that iOS that we upgrade, they are all inbuilt with its own respective API. APIs we can take it from their website. So if you go and check for iOS XE 17.16.3 API, you will get all the API with you. Similar way, you go to Palo Alto version 11 API calls, you will get the all API calls for that version. So these are inbuilt in the software. We are not going to create or build the APIs because it's already present inside it. So whatever is present, we are using it to make the operations. So that's called API calls. We are calling those API to make the changes or fetch the thing or delete the things.
okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Every
And in this
technology will have it.
And in these sessions, I mean, in this course, we gonna learn how different APIs works as well, right? Like
Yes,
how we gonna pull that.
how you get that API, how you put it in this system, and how you test it, how you make your own collection. So the same thing we use it for next technology. Like now, let's say you did it for FortiGate. Now, how you do it for SD-WAN. So it's the same thing. Then it repeats from technology to technology. So you go to their web page, you get the API reference, you test it, you make your collections, you put the variables separately. So all that things.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Mhm. Yeah, hi.
How you doing? So with this Python or Ansible, I see this is coming to be more of a it's starting to be like more of a nice to have as a network engineer. It seems to be more of a prerequisite or a need to know um, um, as far as the job opportunities and things of that nature. Do you see that becoming more of a kind of like a prerequisite as far as network engineers having to have this scripting experience more and more now than it was in the past?
Yeah, totally agree with that. As you see, any job posting nowadays from any of top companies, network automation is a must now. Even during the interviews, they share some sort of simulations where we can they ask us to type a logic or ask us to code or ask us to type few syntax in to see how much good or aware we are with automation. So every and nowadays every client or every project that you are into, there is an automation involved in it. Okay, it could be configurations or it could be the audits or it could be compliance. You are doing it with the automation. No one needs a manual way to do it for months or months. You need something like you get the requirement. They are expecting you to give the reports by evening or something. So you have to write the script and get the things done and deliver the report. Okay, so you can build compliance audit. Basically, compliance means one single script that can check all the best configs lines are present in all your 5,000 devices of, let's say, EMEA region. So when I say best config line, might be you need to see underline VTY you have the ACLs called or not, right? So it is not going to have happen manually. You will take lot of hours or lot of days to do it. But if you write one compliance script, you can run it all over once to 5,000 device, and it will generate a report showing all the non-compliance device list. That means these devices are not having the needful ACLs. Those devices are not part of this entry or this list. They are good. And if they are part of this, that means something is not good. So now you can go and start fixing it. It's called a remediation process. Okay, remediation. So remediation is nothing but your config changes. So now you will prepare your implementation step. You will propose it to cab management. You will get it approved, and on during the change window, you will go and set up the automation script to push this lines, making the needful changes. So for each and every use case that we do in production, we are using automation these days. So it has become mandatory now. In CCNP Enterprise, you have a automation topic. You have a dedicated automation topic in CCNP level, security level, or data center level, service provider. Now, as a automation itself, there's a vertical called CCNA Automation vertical. You have a CCNP there. You have a CCI automation. So this was earlier called as DevNet. Now they have renamed as a automation. Very, very important skills. This is automation. Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
Till what level can we expect from this course, Sagar? I mean, like in terms of like CCNP type of level of
see,
automation.
whatever we do here, it directly touch with the CCI portion. Okay, because CCNA automation is multi Q&A. You don't have practicals there. In the CCNA, you don't have any practical. Then comes the CCNP and CCI, where you have certain Python script or Ansible, etc. So whatever we do it from the lab side, it directly touch your CCI level. Okay, so CCI level will also have other things like DevOps topic and some other things too. But from the Python, Ansible, REST API, we are going to touch from the CCI level perspective. Okay, so what other questions?
And you said how long is this course? You said, sir, you said 2 to 3 months on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm planning to take every Saturday 6 to 8 p.m. So it will take close to 2 month minimum it will take, and then depending upon how the class went through and how the catchment happens. So if any class needs to be dragged for 2 days, then we'll go that way. If it is well understood, then we'll pace it up. So it will take minimum 2 to 3 months. It takes it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Can we do some kind of exercise like bulk deletions of objects, based on the usage? Is something part of this course as well, Sagar? Like in
From
terms of
API or
yeah,
from yeah, yes, that I'll show you during the Postman topic.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Okay, so I'll pass it on to Sajid now. Sajid will make the needful things. Yeah, Sajid, are you there? You can take over.
Yes, I'm here. Hello everyone, myself Sajid. I'm student relationship manager and the counselor. So I'm here to give you all the details regarding this course. Okay, so let me start with my first slide, so which I have prepared for today's presentation. So as you guys can see here, I have mentioned details for course syllabus and class schedule. So this will be going to be your Python network automation course, which covers Python, Ansible, REST API, PyArts, then your CCNA automation, before which used to called as DevNet. Then we'll be covering SD-WAN automation. We'll be covering firewall automation on Paloalto, FortiGate, Checkpoint, on load balancer, and we'll be covering robot framework, and we'll be covering Flask GUI, and we'll be covering on Juniper vendor, and we'll be covering on Arista devices. So overall, so you'll be getting to learn here a lot things. So this will be going to be your multi-vendor technology training towards your automation. Okay, and here you'll be getting to learn all the from very scratch level, from very basic to expert level of your automation training. Okay, for the network engineers. So here below I have mentioned the details for your class schedule as well. So as you can see here, this will be going to be your weekend batch, Saturday and Sunday, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST, 2 hours of every session. And the course duration will be for 3 months, 2.5 to 3 months it will take to complete your batch. Okay, so this will be a weekend itself, Saturday or Sunday, and it will be from 6 p.m. IST to 8 p.m. IST, 2 hours of session, 3 months of course duration. Okay, so let me move towards my next slide. So as you guys can see here, I have mentioned course details, like what all access and materials you'll be getting upon your enrollment. Okay, what all access you'll be getting. So here you'll be getting the lifetime recording access of your classes, which you'll be attending through the Zoom meeting. Those classes recordings are recorded in the cloud, and that will be uploaded to our LMS from the backend. And the recordings are visible to in your portal, in your course section, and the recordings will be visible in meantime of 1 to 1.5 hours once the class is completed. So meantime, if in case if you missed out any classes, so you can go through the recording and you can have a overview. And if you have any doubts over there, so you can clear it with the trainer Sagar sir in the next class. Okay, and you can be on the same page and same flow with the other students and the trainer. Okay, and here we'll be providing you the remote lab access, that you can access it totally remotely, 24 into 7, unlimited. Whenever you want, you can access your labs. Okay, those labs are hosted on our network journey server, so which you'll be accessing through the VPN. So using remote desktop sessions like RDP, and you can access it via your browser by giving the domain name, domain IP. Okay, and this will be accessible for next 6 months. This will be 24 into 7 accessible. This will be your dedicated separate pods. There are no time limits. There are no restrictions. As per your time convenient, whenever you want, you can access your labs without any interruption. Okay. This will be for 6 months of lab access, which will be 24/7 unlimited. And we'll be providing you the dedicated materials like workbooks, PPTs, PDFs, step-by-step lab manuals, all the script writing materials. So everything will be providing you that you can download and you can keep it with you as well. And the G Drive access remains with you for lifetime access. Whenever you want, you can access your G Drive. And if in case if you missed out any material, you can re-download it once again. Okay. And here we'll be assisting you for your home lab setup as well. Let's say if you have the good configuration of your system, then we'll be helping you to set up a home lab, so that once you are done with your remote lab access, further you can practice on your personal laptop. And that will also remain with you for lifetime accessible. Whenever you want, you can access your labs. Okay. It may be on your laptop or it may be on your personal server. So we can do the setup and we'll be helping you to set it up a home lab. Okay. One of our team member will connect with you, and he or she will be doing the setup on your system or on your servers. Okay, that can be accessible till when you will be going to keep on that particular machine. And here we'll be providing you the 24/7 backend support from our team. Like if you are facing any issues, any queries, any doubts related to your course, or it may be related to your labs. While practicing the lab, if you stuck somewhere in between, so you are not able to move forward, move further, so you just need to raise a ticket on our support DL. One of our team member will connect with you, and he or she will be guiding you correctly, or you will be getting the exact resolution, how you can work on, how you can get to resolve your issues or queries. Okay, so this will be 24/7 backend support from our side. These all access and benefits will be getting upon your enrollments.